Well, welcome again, everyone, to the Blue Ocean Business Group. This is an opportunity webinar we want to share with you tonight, the opportunity of Avisae and the Blue Ocean Business Group and why we're so excited about this. I'm Brad Reese, Executive Vice President of Avisae and Blue Ocean Success System, and Curtis Hall, the Vice President of Business Development. And I'm going to turn this over to Curtis. He'll get rolling. We'll tag team with you tonight. We're excited to have you with us. We think this is going to be an amazing ride for all of us in this, especially in this beta pre-launch phase that we're in right now. So Curtis Hall.
All right. Thank you, Brad. And I'm excited to be on here tonight and have a minute to talk about something that I'm very, very passionate about. And when I get passionate about something, I'm just one of those personalities that gives it 100%, just like all of you are. It seems like to me we really all succeed at the things that we get really passionate about. And this is the thing that I'm passionate about. And I've had other businesses. I've been in business for myself since I was 23 years old. And I've had other businesses and opportunities that I've been involved with throughout my life. I'm 49 now. So since I was 23, I've owned and operated my own businesses. And, some of them I wasn't passionate about. The ones I wasn't passionate about, they probably didn't do real well. The ones that I was passionate about, that I really wanted to get involved with, those are the ones that did great. When I was 23, I had an opportunity to meet somebody. And for those of you that are on here tonight, I want you to keep this in mind. We have a tendency, I think, and I'm just going to talk to everybody. This isn't some formal thing, and I'm just going to talk to you. I'm going to tell you where we're at. I am very much a realist. I know that you're all going to be able to make your own decision, and I get it, and I understand it, and I'm okay with that. What we're here to do is present some ideas to you, and if we didn't think that the ideas were worthwhile, I wouldn't be wasting your time, and I wouldn't be wasting my time. They're incredibly worthwhile. And so we have a tendency, I think, sometimes to think, oh, what am I getting onto? It's just another thing. What is it? We kind of can take that approach, and I hope you don't do that tonight. I hope the parachute's open so that you're really, taking in everything that we're talking about here and really evaluating it based on who you are, where you're at right now in your life, and where it is that you're looking to go. When I was 23 years old, I had an opportunity to sit down at my kitchen table in a little 900 square foot condo in a town called Bountiful, Utah, with a couple. And I had no idea when these people came over to talk to me that it was going to affect my life. I actually thought the guy was coming to sell me insurance. That's what I thought it was. And so he sits down at my table, and he said some things that night that made sense to me. And I think to this day, even unbeknownst to this person, who I don't see a whole lot anymore, it made a major, major difference in my wife and I's life, both financially as well as with the association of the people that I've associated with ever since that time. It was a difference maker. And so when you evaluate this for yourself, understand that this is a difference maker that we're talking about tonight. And it can really be something that can change things for you. So if you're looking and you've got some things that you'd like to accomplish that maybe you're not getting to quick enough right now doing what you're doing, then pay attention to what we're talking about tonight. I think it'll make sense to you. So one of the things I want to talk about real quick in the beginning is the cash flow quadrant. Now, I think a lot of you are familiar with this, and even if you haven't seen this diagram before, I think all of you understand the reality of this. And that is that 95% of the people work on the left side of this quadrant. 95% of the people in the U.S. and Canada, which is where we're currently in business, are employed or self-employed. Okay, 5% of the wealth is created over there. Whereas when you get over here to this other side, where it's business ownership and investment, what we call passive income, 5% of the people participate in that, but they control 95% of the wealth. So if your goal is to become financially independent at some point in your life, and I think it's the goal of all of us, otherwise why would we be going to work every day other than to put a roof over our head and feed our families? We all, I think, have the intentions of one day being done and be able to go out and do things that we really want to do, that we think are more important to us than showing up to work, okay? And there are things in my life that are simply more important to me than work, okay? So knowing that, and knowing that what's going to be required in order to get over to a business ownership scenario or a passive income scenario, an investment income type scenario, you're going to have to do things. And we're going to talk tonight about the Blue Ocean Business Group and the platform that's there. That platform exists to help people transition themselves into the business owner investment side and put themselves into this category of 5% that are controlling 95% of the wealth. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that may have always wanted to get there, but maybe just didn't know how to get there, okay? So what the Blue Ocean Business Group is, it's a way to help people take a step in that direction, and then to take another step in that direction. And I like it. This is a new slide we created because it just made sense to me. I think a lot of you will be able to relate to this. So you've got the dream team over here in the NBA, and they're all these successful professional people who won the genetic lottery, and so they can play basketball, unlike me, who's all of 6 feet tall. And although I can shoot the threes, I got to tell you, I can shoot some threes. But anyway, I can't play big like Brad on the inside. But anyway,
Right.
I'm never going to make any money at a sport like that. But if you look at what is the relationship here, here's all these NBA players. They are in the NBA, okay, and they're one of all of these players. How is it that those players have a voice? How is it that they can participate in their own destiny, in their own futures, and have a say-so in what happens in a league, the NBA, that could ultimately just dictate to them what they wanted them to do and what the situation was going to be? What they formed in that scenario was a players' representation or a players' board, be part of this players' association. Now, Derek Fisher, who you see in this picture, who you may or may not be familiar with, one of my favorite players. He's just awesome. But anyway, Derek Fisher, he was an elected member. He became the elected president of the Players Association. And the one reason that he was the elected president of the Players Association, if I were to ask you all this question, I'd get a lot of different answers, but I think I'd get the right one over and over and over again. It was because the players trusted him. That's why they voted for him to be their representation. And he's the president. There's other members as well. But as the president of that Players Association, the players trusted him, okay? So if you liken that now to the Blue Ocean Business Group, the Blue Ocean Business Group is a platform that does the same thing. We are a group or an association of successful business entrepreneurs that have come together to collectively connect to each other and build businesses together. And in order to do so, we need to have the proper platform to do that and the proper representation. So we have taken the same approach where we are all part of an association, or as we're all part of the league, and now we belong to this association called the Blue Ocean Business Group. The Blue Ocean Business Group right now has a chairman, and the chairman of the board of the Blue Ocean Business Group is a man by the name of Ron Simmons. And this is Ron Simmons you see in this picture here. Ron Simmons is one of the smartest, sharpest businessmen I've ever been in business with. Not only that, he's one of the best human beings I've ever met in my entire life. I love the guy to death. He's just a terrific guy. I love going out and hitting the golf ball with him, and I love being in business with him, and I love talking strategy with him. And he just has a sense and a way about him that's very, very unique. And when you have an opportunity to connect yourself with someone like him, I really, really highly suggest that you take the opportunity to do so, because it will become a meaningful relationship to you as time goes on. So we're all now part of this platform called the Blue Ocean Business Group, okay? It's an association of like-minded business owners that will give you access. That's really what we're talking about here, is having access to the most significant and successful people in an industry that we call channel commerce. And I'm going to talk about channel commerce in a minute and what that means and how we go about being in business and doing business, okay? The association is one that was created so that the members that were part of that association could have an influence. So each of you individually, although you may not be the current chairman of the board, you will all have the opportunity, if that was something that you set your sights on and that was something that you set a goal to do at one point in time, you could actually become the president or the chairman of the board of the Blue Ocean Business Group individually. Any one of you on this call right now, because it's an elected position, okay? And they will help to dictate the future through this association and this like-minded thinking, and it gives everyone a platform to do that. It's very, very unique in the industry to have a platform where you have a say in what happens and you can influence your own future. Now, we look at it the same way that the players looked at Derek Fisher. They trusted him. Well, we trust us, okay? It was a business that was created and formulated by the Blue Ocean Business Group for the members of the Blue Ocean Business Group because they trusted each other, okay? So that's really the platform that we're going to work off of. Next slide there, Brad. Now, if you're wondering where Blue Ocean Business Group came from, what that means, what that's all about, it came from a book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. Now, if we were to sit down and all of us collectively decide that we were going to go into business together and we were going to begin to put the pieces of the puzzle together in order to create a successful strategy moving forward, the strategy that we would all like to end up with is a blue ocean strategy. And that is one where we have uncontested, we create a environment of uncontested market space where there's high profit potential, and we eliminate the competition because we rise above them so much further than them and so far beyond them that they just can't compete, versus what they describe as a red ocean, which are companies that just compete. They compete hard, and the waters get bloody because they're just competing for market share. And I've owned companies like this, and I know many of you have as well, where there's only so much opportunity. The opportunity can only take you so far. So it becomes a calculated risk whether you venture into a business like that, because the risk has to the reward has to outweigh the risk. And sometimes that's a variable that is very difficult for people to understand, particularly when you're launching a new business, particularly if that business is one that has a large dollar investment in it, okay? So when we started to put the pieces of this together, obviously if I were to ask all of you which one of these companies would you rather start and be a part of, everyone on the call would say a blue ocean opportunity. So that's what a blue ocean opportunity is, and that's what we're in the process of creating. Now, in order to do that, we know that we had to create a unique scenario. So as we collectively got together as members of the Blue Ocean Business Group and a company by the name of Avisae, which is a marketplace for business, and we're going to talk about that, we began to form this. And we said, as we're forming this, what is it that we need to give people access to in order to give them the highest percentage chance of success? If they're willing to do work, if they're willing to go out and put in the time and the effort and run their business like a business, whether they do that part-time, whether they do that full-time, if they're willing to go put in the time and we can create a reward that is big enough to make that time worthwhile, what is it that we need to do to make this a lasting opportunity? So we created a three-dimensional approach. The first is a connection with a business organization by the name of Avisae. Avisae created a marketplace that provides goods and services and a platform to serve up the Blue Ocean Success System, which is the training, education, leadership, and development that will be required in order to take advantage of the Avisae business opportunity. And then long term, what then you do once you begin to create cash flow, and we're going to talk about how to do that, what do you then do with the money? What do you do with it? Now, I see this is a very personal thing to me, because in my 20s, I connected with some people that I told you about earlier, and I was able to go out and make some good money, especially for my 20s. I made great money, okay? I didn't know what to do with it. I knew I needed to do something with it, and because of that, I found myself really floundering when it came to my investment portfolio and investment strategies. Now, I happened to get lucky and luck onto a few great opportunities that I put money into that still pay me to this day, but I also lost a lot of money. In fact, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You notice I choked when I said that. Anyway, hundreds of thousands of dollars that I lost simply because I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who to talk to. The thing I love about access through the Blue Ocean Business Group to people like Ron Simmons is he's a person and a platform where you're going to be able to connect with people that can help you to begin to understand that world better. Ron happens to be an expert on it. He runs the retirement planning side of this. He currently manages just under $2 billion in assets. He's a brilliant guy, and in order to have access to them, there's only two ways to do it. Either have $500,000 or more to invest with him, or be part of the Blue Ocean Business Group. That's the only way you're gaining access to a guy like him. So we're in a very unique position to give people access to things that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. So if we're now going to collectively go out and begin in business together, we understand that we're going to need to give people access. So Avisae will give you access to, without you having to pay for it, which is very unique, legal, tax, IT, international, supply chain management, research and development, all of your back office, product development, commission management, personalized websites, all of the things that a traditional business would need to spend money on has already been done and it is already in place. So what you gain through this is you simply, through this association, gain access to it rather than having to create it, produce it, and pay for it. It's already done. The second thing is a mentorship program through the biggest and best leaders that's ever been in history in the channel commerce industry that will teach you what to do with those assets that Avisae's put together for you. And then lastly, this retirement advisors, whereas you begin to create cash flow and move yourself onto the right side of the quadrant and get yourself into the 5% that controls 95% of the wealth, how do you now take that cash flow and that wealth that begins to come in, and how do you make that work for you? Okay, most people don't know how to do that. So those are the three connection points that we're going to work with. Let's talk first about the thought process behind the products, goods, and services, and the philosophy that Avisae has taken as a partner in this effort. Okay, we know that the best way that we can help people with a long-term sustainable business is to have differentiating products at the right price. Okay, now this is very, very important. Most people that are in this industry that choose to get involved in a business similar structure to what we're going to talk about today generally come in with a differentiating product that they claim does whatever they claim it does, but they do it in such a way that it generally does not have a low-cost structure associated with it. The problem with that long-term is that a lot of people tend to think that if they have a great product that nobody else will ever have that product. And the reality is that is just not true. That is not reality. If you have something that's great enough and the demand for it becomes large enough, you will find it on the shelf at Walmart. Okay, that is how it works. So we understand that in order to have a long-term sustainable business, and if we aren't going to do that, why bother even doing any of it, right? Long-term and sustainable is the only way we should approach it. So we have a value innovation proposition that says we need to create differentiation in our products, goods, and services, as well as low cost, and raise the value of those products, goods, and services so that we can create a high demand regardless of whether they get knocked off. If they get knocked off and you're priced right, it doesn't matter, because we as business owners will have more loyalty to purchasing goods and services through our own business than through a secondary channel, because we profit on one side and we do not profit on the other side. The only problem is if there's a price differentiation that's so dramatic, you have to begin to see if you can justify the price. Well, we don't want people to ever have to justify that ever. So we have a value innovation proposition in place to help us as we evaluate products, goods, and services. Okay, so next slide. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to launch and introduce through the Avisae marketplace categories of products. Okay, whether those are health and nutrition, whether those are skincare, whether those are home care, whether those are service oriented, maybe it's cell phone service, maybe it's dish network service, maybe it's whatever. Okay, there's so many things that are available out there today. Okay, I will promise you this: if you, as the Blue Ocean Business Group, want a particular product, good, or service that you feel would be necessary in order for you to have a more successful opportunity, then we will just go get it. Okay, all of those things are accessible. Okay, so it doesn't matter how unique it is. I promise you, no matter how unique it is, it's accessible. Okay, so we started off in the health and nutrition space because we had to start somewhere. So our first category is called Optimal Nutrition. The Optimal Nutrition line is a very unique line of products with incredible science behind them. For those of you that would like to know more about this, on Friday night there will be a webinar that you can plug into. We are going to introduce someone to you on that night that I think you are all going to want to meet and get to know. Very well-respected individual that is part of the team that you're going to get a chance to to hear from on Friday night, and it's going to be a major coup for all of you and for us at Avisae in the progression of products and services that we have to offer. So anyway, but these products are phenomenal. I'll give you just a quick overview of these things. Number one, health and wellness, health and nutrition. It's an easy category to go into because the world needs it more than ever. I mean, more than ever before, people need better health. There's just no two ways about it. All you got to do is look around, and anywhere you go, any mall you walk into, just sit there and look around at how healthy everyone looks, and you'll realize how quickly that people need access to better health. So we've got 5 products that we're launching. The first one is our flagship product called Sustain. If you want to know how unique this is, we just ran tests on this. The ORAC scale that came back on this that measures the level of antioxidants, which is only one component of Sustain, it's off the charts. We knew it was going to test well, but it tested beyond our wildest imagination. It's unbelievable. I'll give you an example. I live in a state where we call it juice heaven. Okay, there's a lot of companies around here with juices, and I don't have anything against juices, whatever. That's fine. They can have juices. They're just not as unique as most of them think they are. Okay, so I'm not beating up on juices. That's just how it is. But most of them tout some kind of an ORAC scale of some kind. We went in and ran tests against several of these, and we found that the ORAC scale that we have contains more antioxidants in a per-day serving of Sustain than you would get out of 2.3 bottles a day of some of the products that we compared it to. Okay, so it's very unique. And then that's just the antioxidant component of this. We also have 23 essential vitamins, minerals. We have telomere support, which you'll learn about on Friday night, which is phenomenal new science that's come out. But understand this, our commitment is to have great quality products at the right price. Now understand that in the process of that, what we know in science today and what we understand about products today in the health and wellness category and health and nutrition category, it could be completely different. There could be a game changer that comes along in the next 12 months that'll change the game for everybody. We want you to know that we're going to shift on the fly when we know what that is, and we'll get it. Okay, our commitment is to stay on the cutting edge of that. So anyway, Sustain's phenomenal. Next one is Indulge. Daily Indulge is the shake mix. It will help you to control a lot of things. It has 4 different proteins in it, a whey, a soy, and 2 isolates. They will deliver protein into your body throughout the day as you need those. It's an incredible product. It's less than $2 a serving. I don't know what if you replace 1 meal a day with this, not only are you going to save money, but it will be your one perfect meal of the day because it's a phenomenal product. The base is incredible. We have a drink mix that has green tea extract. If you drink 2 of these a day, because we're harvesting the antioxidant from the green tea, it would be similar to drinking 72 cups of green tea a day. We already know what the result of green tea is. It's published everywhere. We know that the antioxidant is one of the most highly touted antioxidants you can get and one of the most powerful antioxidants. So 2 of these have the equivalent of about 72 cups of regular green tea. No need vitamin D, which most women are deficient in, some men as well. They're finding a lot about vitamin D out that they didn't know before. Vitamin B12 for energy, and then raspberry ketones that will help your metabolism and maintain your blood sugar levels. Okay. Another thing that will continue to help with that, if some of you are out there would like to lose some weight, I can say with all the conviction that I got in my body, because that is my body that you're looking at right there. On January 15th, I was 204 pounds. I think at my highest, I was probably around 210. I didn't feel good. I wasn't very active. I needed to lose some weight. I didn't know how to do it. We were putting this company together. As soon as we got the products formulated and got them in our hands, I started taking them. In 6 weeks, I lost 20 pounds. I've lost an additional 5 since then, maintained it, added muscle, and feel better than ever. I'm now down below 184. I'm down to about 180, and I feel phenomenal, best I've ever felt in my life. I'm turning 50 in a few weeks here, and I feel better. Honestly, I feel better than I have ever felt. I mean, I just feel phenomenal, and these products have made a major difference. I overheard a conversation today with Rena, who is the person that handles all the customer service and support at Avisae, and I heard her talking, and she was saying to the lady on the phone, "Oh, that's great. Oh, that's so neat. That's so great." When she hung up, I said, "What was that about?" And she said, I just talked to a lady. She wanted to make sure her product shipment was coming in because in the last 9 weeks, the lady had lost 32 pounds using these products, changing their eating habits and doing a little exercise. So we're seeing phenomenal results. It will change your health situation, okay? This is another product that was developed because of a huge need for fighting inflammation in a person's body. It's a great product. Tune in on Friday night. I'm not going to get into any more, but it'll help you with the joints. Those of you that are more my age, you know, whether it's the knees, whether it's the back, whether it's the shoulders or whatever, they start aching. I mean, you know, they start hurting a little bit, and this will really help that scenario. Next slide there, Brad. So there's two components here we talked about. We want long-term sustainable. So not only did they need to be phenomenal, they needed to be priced correctly. So when you look at the ingredients, the active ingredients and the formulations of these products, they're priced at $59.95, okay? Which if you compare them to the other things in the market, they're even close in comparison. And there's nothing to really compare it to because there isn't any products like them currently. We understand that they're so great, they'll probably be knocked off. Fine. We know that we're priced right, so ultimately it won't matter, okay? But $59.95, and they have a point value assigned to each of them, and that point value will become something that you want to key into when you begin to build your business. So the Indulge has 40 PV or points, the Relieve, Sustain, and Reduce have 50, and 30 on the Activate, okay? So here's what we want to do now. How do we now take these products, goods, and services and the products, goods, and services that will come over the years? It will turn into 100 products, 200 products, 500 products, and so on, because it's really about creating a marketplace for those goods and services, okay? So how do you then take advantage of those goods and services that are going to be there and available and leverage those effectively so that you can create cash flow? So we're going to talk about creating perpetual asset channels. How we do that is we partner with you through the Blue Ocean Business Group. We partner with one of your greatest assets, which is who you know, okay? This is an easy concept. The concept is this. If we can all come together and connect, if we can just simply connect, and we can take the collective knowledge, know-how, understanding, wisdom, experience, connections, people, products, all of these things, and we can have a platform for all of us to bring those to the table for the good of the organization, for the good of everybody, we have our hands on something that is unstoppable. It's completely unstoppable. Upside potential is limitless. We can take it as far as we want to take it, okay? The key is in increasing the numbers that exist to the platform, the numbers of us that are part of this association, because as we increase the numbers, the collective buying power attracts the outside forces that have goods, products, and services that they want to move. They need a distribution channel to move them. We become an absolute major force to reckon with when it comes to distribution. And therefore, we can begin to control cash flow opportunities. So that's what connecting to the people that you know and the people that we know becomes a big deal. If you do this in a scenario where you have access to a tier 2 influence of people that can teach you how to do it, then you'll begin to really have your hands on something that's unique. So we're going to take those people that you know, we're going to put 3 of them in place, 1 in each channel. You're going to create 3 channels. We're going to teach them how to use the current goods and services, the current goods that we have, and in the future goods and services that we have. We'll teach them each how to do about 100 points a month, which is between $120 to $165 in volume each month, which is a no-brainer, simple to do. When you do that, you now have a $50 residual that's coming in. Okay, now, if we're going to increase that, we simply take these people and help them to do the same thing. We're going to teach them to set up 3 channels, 3 asset channels. As they do that, they now each make 50. You've now increased the profitability of your asset channels to 250. If we do that one more time, they're now each at 250, and you've now increased the profitability of those asset channels that you have to $1,500 a month. Okay, we're then going to take it and we're going to shift our focus from this, which is called Quicksilver, which is the base of your business, and we're going to put it into the accelerator program. because there's two focuses here we got to focus on. One is establishing the proper foundation for your business and then accelerating the growth of that business. How we do that is through a concept called depth, where we begin to drive these channels deep and as far away from us as we can get them. When you drive one 8 deep in 3 different channels, you now pick up an additional bonus of $800. So you're now at 2,300. If you develop 3 channels of 16, okay, another $800. If you develop 3 channels of 24, it's an additional $900. So when you combine the foundation with the acceleration, you end up putting yourself in a position here to have a $4,000 a month residual income opportunity generated from creating this scenario. Now, I've talked about 2 ways to make money, okay? But we're really looking at creating enduring perpetual asset channels and cash flow, okay? In order to get started in the process of doing that, I'm going to talk about some bigger dollars and some bigger money here in a second and kind of break it down a little bit more. But you need to get in business for yourself. So take the first step. In order to do that, you go to Avisae.com. Someone will give you a code. You will register. You'll get a number of your own, and you'll be in business. You can do that for $79.95, $199 with limited products, or $299 with a suite of all the products. The best value is the Optimal Health and Fitness Kit. You save $65 on the products by enrolling that way. Basically, your enrollment about ends up being free because the majority of that is products. You'll begin to use these products. You'll see the phenomenal nature that these products have on your own life and on your own health and well-being, and we'll continue to expand these. In fact, we already have several products that are in the hopper right now that are absolutely unique and phenomenal that you'll be hearing about over the next weeks and months that we'll be working with. So you'll get set up in business. Next one. Now, what we really want to ultimately do is talk about what you could do by connecting people in these channels, okay? So if we were to now take these channels, now there are so many different scenarios that we could run here that I couldn't even run them all. I mean, there's so many scenarios that can happen. So let's just break it down to kind of a simple scenario. Brad, I'm going to turn this over to you because you're so much better explaining this part of this than I am. You
All
know,
right.
when I get to here, I always turn it over to you at this point. So fire away on this, Brad, and tell
Well,
them a little bit about it.
thanks, Curtis. And what you're looking at, we just want everybody to focus on 2 simple things when they get involved in a business like this: using the products, having that make a difference in your life, and you'll continue to get them. We start with the health and wellness space, but then we will move into anyway products, things that people use anyways that still benefit their lives. But it'll build their business and follow Quicksilver. Just get 3 and help them get 3 and help them get 3, and then drive this depth and teach these principles of Quicksilver and Accelerator. This just showing some other ways to make money in our compensation plan. We showed you just 2, but by doing what we explained, the team commissions that begin to kick into place. This particular chart shows us if you've got 8 levels deep and they all got 3, you've got 3. That probably won't work exactly like that. But if you did that, you'd make $42,000 a month just from that one bonus, the team commission bonus. If it was 10 levels, you'd be qualified for that. We just show here, and the other bonuses you would earn aside from that, there'd still be about $62,000 more that could be earned. Now, all of this, if you just failed this by 95% and only were able to do 5% of this, it would still be $11,000 a month in income. If you added the Quicksilver and Accelerator program to that, you'd be failing at this whole thing by 95%, only completing 5% of it, you would still make about $15,000 a month in income. The last I checked, that's about $180,000 a year. That's a pretty good raise for anybody listening on this call. I would be excited about an extra 5, maybe 10, but at 15, that's pretty amazing. We just wanted to show here the power of creating these commerce channels, creating the channel commerce business as you begin to grow the numbers and the leverage that begins to take place in your business. And so we just simply, from a very beginning point right here, just simply want you to think about getting 3 and making 50 and helping them get 3 and making 250 and helping them get 3 and make 1,500 and so on, and then begin our accelerator program. And by so doing this, you generate $4,000 a month in income. This is just a byproduct. By doing this, getting 4,000, the rest kicks in, and you'll make the significant amount of money I just showed you. And we're pretty excited about the opportunity here because it's actually a structure. You actually know what to do to make the money and how to help the next person and help the next person. And if you'll help those people in your business, in your channels, and if you'll help 3 people in each one of your channels earn $4,000 a month, you'll be financially free. You'll be in a position then at that point, you've moved over into the B quadrant and be able to move into the B and I quadrant of the cash flow quadrant and have a lifestyle that you would like to have, simply becoming your own best customer using health and wellness products now as it moves into skincare and all the other things we begin to develop. It would be life changing for you and those that you bring and share this opportunity with. And so, Curtis,
Awesome.
I'm going to turn this back over to you, buddy.
Okay, you got it. Thanks, Brad. Brad's much smarter at that stuff than I am. I'm not a detailed guy. I'm kind of an emotional guy. But anyway, I am so excited about it. I've already talked a lot about this tier 3. I love this comment at the bottom. The main reason people struggle financially is because they have spent years in school but learn nothing about money. The result is that people learn how to work for money but never have money work for them. And I'm telling you, you and I both know that that is the absolute truth. Most people do not know what to do with their money. Most people don't have any extra money, but even when they do get some, they don't know what to do with it. We've got to give people access to business. We've got to help people create their own cash flow, control their own cash flow, get into that B quadrant, create a cash flow, and then we've got to give people access to people who can help them to know what to do with that. Another program that we've put in place to help people get into that investor in that I quadrant and begin to have something work for them is the Legacy Shares program. Another unique thing about the Blue Ocean Avisae opportunity is that we don't want to just have people that are out there. We want people that are invested like we're invested. We want people that are out there that have a stake in the company. So we have a shares program in place that will allow you to earn shares, and we've set aside 1% of all the commissionable volume will go into a pool, and the participants that own the shares in the company will have that divided at the end of each year, and they will participate in the profits of the company. And we think that's fair. We think that's how it should be. Now, I don't know that any companies out there that I know of in this space are doing that, and I don't know what they should be. And that's why we did it, because we feel like that's the right thing to do. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So you get a share when you sign up and enroll as a Star Plus IBO. As you enroll your first 3, you'll pick up another share, and then each personally registered or enrolled person after that, 4th, 5th, 6th, and so on, you pick up an additional share. I know right now through the end of the month, there is a multiple on those, which is 3 times, if that's correct, Brad, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so there's a 3 times multiple on that. So for those of you that are on this for the first night tonight, this is the first time you've seen anything. I'm going to be doing this again tomorrow night at 6 with Brad, and Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. You can plug into that. Get people on that call. Let us help you get some people in and rolling. Let's help you get your first shares of getting rolling and enrolled, and then let's enroll your first 3. Let's do this all by the end of the month, and you would pick up what 9? You'd pick up 12 shares if you did that scenario. Now those 12 shares. How would you like to have had 12 shares of Microsoft when it was rolling and on the ground floor? 12 shares of Apple computers. I mean, those shares in the beginning, yeah, you're going to look at them at the end of the year and go, oh, an extra $20 or $10 or $2, whatever it happens to be. But 20 countries from now, when the revenue is at $1 billion, $100 million, you know what? That number and that profit check could be substantial. That's why we call it a legacy. It's a legacy check. It's a legacy opportunity. So really, truly focus on getting as many of those shares as you can possibly get your hands on. And there's some other ways to get those through doing volume each month, and get with somebody that invited you on this, and they'll explain the details of that. Understand we're in the pre-launch beta phase right now. We've run our first 2 months of product shipments and commissions that we've paid out. They've been phenomenal. We've exceeded our expectations by almost triple what we thought. Things are growing and rolling. We have pockets that are going like crazy. I was in Canada last week, had an absolutely incredible time in Canada, going up to where did I go? Edmonton. I can't remember. I'm not as familiar with Canada, obviously. But anyway, to go up to Edmonton, Canada, and to be with a group there that, let me tell you, these people were sharp. They were focused. They were excited. They were growing. Their numbers were going crazy. It was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. And it really drove home to me the fact that if we can take this asset that we have of connecting to people, the value of where that takes you is unbelievable. I mean, how many people did I know as I was growing up in Canada? How many people did I know outside of Utah? How many people did I know outside of my neighborhood? So the value of leveraging connections ultimately will take your business places that you otherwise are not going to get to. But when you can have a platform that allows you to utilize that effectively, they will take you places that are unbelievable. You will have business in places that you have right now, you have no clue that you're going to have a successful business in some place like maybe India. Maybe you're going to have a successful business in Japan. Maybe you're going to have a successful business and the biggest part of your business is in New York. Maybe the biggest part of your business is going to be in Las Vegas or California or wherever it's going to be. It's because we live in a world where we are connected. Okay. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be across the street anymore. Okay. So there's just a ton of value here. Be patient with us through this launch phase. We're growing fast and we're creating assets for you as quickly as we can. There's some bumps and bruises in the process of that. That's why we created the Legacy Shares program. We look forward to your constructive criticisms and your solutions because that's how we get things done. And so understand that's the phase we're in. I love that phase myself. It's always been my favorite part of building business. But understand when we're done tonight to take a few minutes and really sit down. If you have a significant other, sit down with that person and really begin to ask yourself some questions. Are we where we thought we would be at this point in time? Are we doing anything to help accelerate our ability to get from point A where we are to point B where we want to be? Is there some validity to what this guy from Utah, Curtis Hall, that I probably never met, is there some validity to what he's talking about? And understand that we're here to get your questions answered. We're here to help you feel comfortable and understanding of what it is we're doing and where it is we're going. But if you will simply focus on getting your questions answered and then focusing on your dreams, focusing on your goals, and if you will let those things propel you and drive you, they will do more for you than any other thing we can offer you. Businesses come and go, but I'll tell you what, your dreams can propel you through anything, okay? And I know that sounds real corny and really cliche. I understand that, but I also know that is absolutely the truth. And so get focused on those things. That's me up there in the right-hand corner fly fishing on one of my favorite rivers up in Star Valley,